Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday to you. I trust that you've had a great week and a great weekend, and you're going to cap it off with Sunday's Best. So, Sunday's Best has been around for about 7 years, and I'm the host, Nancy Johnson. I'm a local realtor, investor, author, coach, and host of Sunday's Best. I'm an author of 2 books, The $1 Million Producer, and also When Two Becomes One Again. And I love teaching. I love sharing financial principles. Hello, Gwen Mapp. Welcome to Sunday's Best. And Gwen Mapp knows the drill very well. She's been with us for a long time. And that is, we always ask on Sunday's Best, because we talk about finances, we always ask, are you paying yourself? Because at least if you are paying yourself, then you're learning something. Because most people have not learned that they need to pay themselves. All right? So again, I'm Nancy Johnson. I'm a realtor here in Columbia of 40 years. And my team is the Nancy Johnson team. We get results. But you know, in order for people to buy homes and to become homeowners, hey, Diane Jackson, I see you paid yourself, and so did Gwen Mapp. In order for people to become homeowners, they usually have to learn how to master their money first and manage their money. So tonight, hey, Olivia, tonight we're going to talk about, do we have a money problem, or are we the problem? Do we have a money problem, or are we the problem? You know, a lot of times it says you got to start kindness and generosity starts at home. Same thing with finances, right, Andrea? You got to start at home, and you got to mind your own business. Now, here's an eye-opener, and I'm probably going to mention this a couple more times. If you have been with Sunday's Best for 7 years, or if you just heard this information and you didn't stay the course, if you found a way, after all the information we've been sharing on Sunday's Best, if you found a way to save $5 a day, $5 a day for a year is $1,825. And if you did that for 7 years, you're at $12,775. Now, welcome, Lily. Now, who couldn't use $13,000? And I haven't even put any of high yield interest on it. It's just dollar for dollar, finding a way to invest $5 per day. And you may say, Nancy, I'm barely making it. Where can I find $5 a day to consistently pay myself? Well, I want you to think about that. Because what one person will give up, another person won't even turn loose. What is a comfort blanket for one person may be easy for the other person to just throw the blanket off and say, I got to get up. All right? So think about it. $5 a day consistently for 7 years since we've been talking about paying yourself, you would have, and if you put it in the bank, drew some interest, you'd have probably closer to $15,000. So that's just food for thought. So tonight, we're going to talk about creating generational wealth. What do we work for? Why does the Bible speak to leave an inheritance for your children or your children's children? Why is that a future command to all of us, to each of us? Well, I want you to grab your pen and paper because there are a few words that you need to be speaking or you need to be hearing in your circle. And if not, maybe your circle is subtracting instead of adding and multiplying to your financial plans. Because what you don't know, the next person may very well know and be able to shed some light on. Hey, Lily and Marva. So we're going to talk about creating generational wealth. And I'm going to read a sentence and we're going to dissect it. And then we're going to go from there. But you will need pen and paper. All right? So here's the statement. Creating generational wealth in the Black family. Generational wealth is built by acquiring assets. That's one word I need you to write down. Generational wealth is acquired by protecting your assets. I want you to write the word protection down. So you should have asset protection. And generational wealth is passing financial knowledge to a future generation. Financial knowledge. Passing financial knowledge. So we're talking about building wealth. First, assets, how to protect those assets, and how to pass them down to future generations. Is that all right? Okay. So number one, how do you find out what you don't know? Words do matter. And these words should be coming up in your conversations, like I said. Or if not, you may not be in the right circle. So an asset is something that is useful. It's a valuable thing to a person. It has quality. So what are your assets? Property that you own, real estate, is your asset. Cash you have in the bank, stocks, bonds, the equity in your home is assets, right, Olivia? Assets keep you growing. Liabilities keep you working. I'm going to say that again. Assets are useful, valuable things that have quality to people. And they are things like real estate that you own, property that you own, cash that you have on hand or in the bank, stocks, bonds, and even the big chunk of equity that you may have in your primary residence or in your investment property. And remember, assets keep you growing, liabilities keep you working. So that's asset. Let's talk about protection. If something is that good or that valuable or a must-have, then how do you protect it? What is protection when it comes to creating financial wealth? Protection is the thing that prevents suffering or harm and keeps your money safe. So 2 words, assets, protection. They go together. They go very well together. Number 3, financial knowledge. Financial knowledge. A lot of people can talk a lot of junk about a lot of things, but when it comes to financial knowledge, they're like, I don't want to talk about that. So financial knowledge is the understanding or the awareness of various financial concepts, principles, and practices that enables one to make better financial decisions, that enables one, hey, Vicki, to create wealth, to acquire assets. So assets, protection, financial knowledge, And then generation. What are you leaving for the next generation? Why is it that we have to start over, that every generation has to start over and over and over and rarely accumulate anything after the second generation? So how do you accumulate assets? How do you protect your assets? How do you gain financial knowledge? Those three things. If you don't know how to accumulate assets, how to protect the assets, how to gain financial knowledge, then number 4 will likely not happen. Number 4 will be non-existent. You cannot pass down wealth to a generation that you, number 1, have not acquired in ownership, that you have not protected if you did acquire it and something happens to you and it's all gone. If you don't have financial knowledge, even if somebody gives you assets, hey, Ashton Williams, if somebody gives you something, if you inherit it, you still need to know that it's an asset, that it's valuable, that assets will feed you, liabilities will eat you, assets will keep you growing, liabilities will keep you working, and that you must protect it. So how do you protect it? Insurance on your property, insurance on your life, insurance on people that of value to you. There's that word again, value. An asset is a value. And so if you're not hearing in your circle, Ashton, and I know you are, and Olivia and Lily and Marva and Andrea and Vicky, I may have missed a couple of people, but if you're not hearing the word equity, net worth, generational legacy, compound interest, ROI, which means return on your investment. If you're not hearing these words, and if you're not executing things like drafting a will, learning the difference between a trust account and a will, knowing what a POA is, a power of attorney, knowing what a POD is, paid upon death, and have your business in order. If you don't hear the word probate, if you don't hear the word estate, anywhere in your circle, then you are likely not learning everything that you possibly can. All right? So words do matter. Asset, protection, financial knowledge, generation. How do you get it? How do you keep it? How do you protect it? Are you in the right circle for growth? Is your circle stunting your growth, or is it multiplying or adding to what you already know? So creating generational wealth. Number 1, I'm going to give you 10 items, and then we're going to talk about a plan, what your family should do or could do or can do to make sure that you create generational wealth and that the generation coming behind you will inherit something and won't have to start at ground zero. Okay? So generational wealth is, again, built by acquiring assets, protecting them, and passing financial knowledge to a future generation. Number 1, so these are like how you do it or what you can do to accomplish these things. Hey, Vivian, and I see you paid yourself. So, number 1, prioritize home ownership. If you are not already a homeowner, put that down as a plan. And if you say, Nancy, I don't need to buy a home, I don't need a house, then let me know. But I rarely run into anybody that says, I don't need a house. Most people say, I want a house. I just have not been able to get one because of credit, because of down payment, or some other things in life. So number one is prioritize home ownership. Why? Because you can build equity in a home. You can maintain the property, and you can consider using that property for future investment because it's an asset. It is something that appreciates. It appreciates, unlike a car that depreciates. Number two, what should you do to be able to pass on generational wealth or to keep it going? Invest consistently. Invest consistently. I said, if you've been saving $5 a day, making whatever sacrifice you needed to make, whether it was coffee, eating out, nails, whatever, then you should have at $5 a day in a year, you should have $1,800 and I believe it's $25. And in 7 years, with no interest, no compounding, you got almost $13,000. So let's call it 7 years, $15,000. So if you've been listening to me for 7 years or anywhere close to that, and you manage to pay yourself $5 a day consistently, number two is what it's talking about. Number two is invest consistently. You say $5 is not enough for an investment. But if you're paying yourself $5 a day, folks, that's adding up. And that can take care of retirement accounts and some other things. Number three, start a family business. You ever thought about you work for somebody else? When are you going to work for you? Because you know what? You come to the universe with just as many gifts or more. Your gifts are unique to you. And your gifts will make room for you. Your gifts is not going to make you get up off your do nothing and do something. But when you do something with the gifts, the unique gifts you have, Vivian, things begin to happen. Opportunities begin to happen, Vicki. And Gwen Mapp, you'd be amazed what you got inside you that you've not even tapped into. And guess what? Nobody can do you like you. We got 3 Glorias that are typically on Sunday's Best. And not one of those, number 1, number 2, number 3 number 2 can't do number 1, and number 2 can't be number 3. Number 2's got to be number 2. Number 1 has got to do what number 1 brings to the table or to the universe, because nobody else can deliver it like you. You are built uniquely. You're uniquely designed. So start that business. How do you start a business? Why would you start a business? And we're looking into or talking about generational wealth. Some of you have, or some of us have family business. How do we pass those assets, those experiences, those highs and lows, those success and failures? How do we pass those on? Or how do we protect our future generation assets by passing those, especially the things that were not successful at first, and how we worked through it and how we were able to have a successful business? So start a family business, create income producing assets that you can pass down. Number 4, invest in real estate, invest in land, invest in rental property, Invest in income producing real estate. You'll be amazed. What if you now set your mind, says, I'm going to learn how to flip a house. I've got $15,000, $20,000 saved up. So what if I'm falling behind on my retirement and I'm going to work a little while longer, and you get a group of people who share your values, who understand how it needs to be done, and you say, we're going to do 2 flips a year for the next 10 years and we'll be set. Or we'll have another 100 or 200 or $300,000 for our retirement. That's what you call having a plan to invest in real estate. Number 5, eliminate high interest debt. And we talk about this one every single week. Reduce financial drag and drains so that you can increase your cash flow. You can't grow if you're being dragged. And paying high interest rates on cars, on credit cards, are a drag or a drain. They're not an asset. All right? So number 6, teach financial literacy. Hey, Renee Williams, and I see you paid yourself. Teach financial literacy. How? Teach or learn how to budget. Teach or learn or make the sacrifice to save. Teach or learn how to invest. Teach or learn early about entrepreneurship. Because if you want to birth a business, you can't go in there. You can roll your sleeves up, but if you don't know your numbers, if you don't have a plan, every day is not going to be a good day. If you don't know what's in the red, what's in the black, hey, Pastor Jamal, if you don't know that, number 6 says, teach or learn financial literacy. Number 7, build multiple streams of income. If I had my say, I would say a minimum of 7 streams of income. Maybe a little thing. Could be somebody bought a book from Amazon, or somebody wanted to be coached. Somebody came to a boot camp. We bought a piece of rental property. Extra money to go into a savings account. All of those things are second streams of income. And so what is your side hustle? I don't like to really use that word as a female. Just me. I don't tell somebody, go out there and hustle. Doesn't have the right connotation to me. But y'all know what I mean. So what is your part-time job? What streams of income are coming in while you're going out to work for somebody else? You got money coming in. While you're on Sunday's Best, you got money coming in. While you're on vacation, you got money coming in. So if you got an asset that is appreciating, if you got a second stream of income, then remember we talked about security and protection? Then it would be unfortunate, or maybe not, that you get laid off. Sometimes that's when people dreams turn to gold. When their back is against the wall, or when they don't have a job, a job, just over broke, that's keeping them from reaching their potential. So if you have multiple streams of income, you got a buffer. You got a safety net. All right? Because life happens. You don't own that job. Employee and employer. The EE is you. The ER is the person that you're working for. All right? They own the business. It's their dream. You're just a part of it. Okay? You're a part of making it come true. So it's very important to, number 7, build multiple streams of income. Number 8, protect your wealth. Protect your wealth. Have a good relationship with an insurance person that you can trust. Have a good relationship, not just with a bank, but with a banker that you trust that will tell you the truth. All right? So that's part of protecting your wealth is maintaining the proper insurance, having an emergency fund, having asset protection policy, not just an insurance policy, but what we used to call an umbrella policy or a general liability policy, where if something happens and you're sued, and the max on your homeowner's insurance, say, is 300,000, and the case turns out to be $1 million, and if it's something that is covered, now every single thing that happens to you may not be covered under the general liability policy. But if you're trying to protect yourself, like number 8 says, protect your wealth, you want to know how much insurance to have and what things and what people you should have insurance on. Number 9, create a will. It's a 4-letter word. Create a will and an estate plan. Your will just tells somebody what you want to happen when you can no longer speak for yourself. Your will is your wish list. This is what I wish to happen when I'm no longer here. So you need to know what kind of insurance, what needs to be in your will, who can you trust, whether you need to have a physical trust. All of that is estate planning. Number 10, think not only in terms of today. Think in terms of tomorrow. Think in terms of a future. Make decisions today that will benefit your children and your children's children. I recently sold a property to someone, and they said, now we have something to leave our son. And yes, you want to leave your spouse or your son or your daughter, or even some cases your parents, in a good place so that they're not financially strapped. All right? So now, when we talk about family matters, it's not time for somebody to get up and go in the room and close the door. It's time for a family action plan. You plan Thanksgiving, you plan Christmas, you plan New Year's, you plan Mother's Day, Father's Day, 4th of July, Labor Day. Why not have a family action plan day? And so what would you do? What would you do at a family plan day that would help you to execute, to understand, to use the words that we talked about to build generational wealth? What would you do? Number 1, everybody gets to have their say, because everybody in the family doesn't want the same thing, and they're not the same age, don't have the same responsibility. So let's hear what the family has to say. And as the leader of your family, or the leaders of your family, create a family budget. Let the kids know why they can't have the $300, $400, $500 sneakers or jersey. Let them know that they turn 15 and getting their license when you already scrap for finances on a weekly basis, that is adding to the family budget. They don't think about it. They just say, Mom and Dad don't want me to have a car. But that's at least 4 more expenses. You got the car payment, you got the down payment, you got gas, you got insurance, all those things just to let them have a car. And that the bills, the budget, creating a budget is your responsibility. Number 2, establishing an emergency fund. That's a family plan of action. Increase your retirement contribution. You should have a plan to do that. You got a raise, you got matching funds, match it out, maximize it. Let's see, meet with an estate planner or an attorney. And number 5, discuss wealth building goals with your children and your grandchildren. And so I'm going to go over these 5 things again. Family action plan. And I want you to write right next to it. By December 1st, 2026, I will have a family meeting. And number 1, we will talk about the budget so the children understand that we don't have unlimited funds. So they can't have everything, every time, anytime. Number 2, that we have an emergency fund, but it's for an emergency. And buying a new pair of sneakers or a new phone or buying everybody Christmas gifts is not an emergency. Number 3, we, mom and dad or mom, plans to retire. I've been working a long time, and so I've got to put more toward my retirement. So we're not going to be going out every weekend. All right? Meet with an estate planner by when? December 1st. And don't wait till November 30th. Meet with an estate planner. If you don't have one, contact me and I will put you in contact with someone that can answer your questions about wills, about trust, and about what you should do with your power of attorney or your POD or your POA, whatever. You need to meet with somebody because it's personal. It's called minding your business. And then the 5th one is discuss wealth building goals with your children. A lot of them watch HGTV, or you might just tell them what the Bible says about leaving an inheritance for the children and the children's children. And maybe they're not even thinking, mom and dad doing this for our benefit. But if you sit down and have a family discussion, then you can make sure that everybody's on the same page. And the second part to that, you're going to do that no later than, if you get it done right away, then you won't be worried about it. You can go back and change it or whatever. But once you take this action by December 1st, okay? And then I want you to think about this. What if you had a 10-year building checklist for building wealth? Over the next 10 years, you either put on that list, we want to own a home. We want to eliminate high interest rate debt. We want to build a big emergency saving fund. We want to invest monthly, paying ourselves a minimum of $5 a day. We're going to create a will. We're going to adjust it if we have to. We're going to increase our financial education. We're going to explore a business that something, when you think about a business, you should ask, what am I good at? What am I great at? What do I get complimented on most? What do I do better than most? And maybe that's the thing that you need to start or write a business plan for. Example, you want to be the expert at something, not know everything. No one will ever know everything about everything. So become the expert at something. You're thinking a 10-year plan. What is it that I can do over the next 10 years? What business can I own over the next 10 years? What piece of investment property can I buy that is going to help me to build wealth over the next 10 years? So again, being the expert at something that you're passionate about are two of the best things you can do. The third thing is you got to do it. You got to start. And you want it to be something that you enjoy, but you got to ask the question, if I can solve a problem for someone, will I make money at it? And if I can make money at it and I can help somebody, the more people I can help, the more money I can make. So think about it that way. Here's what I know for sure. When I got into real estate, I didn't even ask the question, what does the average real estate agent makes? I listened to a lot of late night, back in the day, late night infomercial with Carlton Sheets, with Diane Kennedy, Les Brown, Zig Ziglar, just a lot of people. And I thought, everybody need a place to live. And you could make money doing that. You could make a lot of money doing that. And I always wanted to be the person on the other side of the door, not the one paying the rent, but I wanted to be the person collecting the rent. And that was even at 10 years old. So when I got into real estate, I didn't ask how many hours does the average person work? How much does the average person make? I didn't ask any of those things because, number one, I didn't get in to be average. But after being in it for a while, I can tell you what I did do. I said, if the average agent sells 8 to 10 properties a year, I'll make that my monthly goal. And at the height of my business, when I say find something that you're good at or that you feel that you can solve a problem, if you can solve a problem, you can make money. So if the average realtor across the U.S. was doing 8 to 10 transactions a year, my goal was 8 a month. And at the height of my business, because I believed in entrepreneurship, I believed in working hard to get what you want, that was my goal. And I exceeded it several years. So don't set out to be average. When you're looking for a business, you say the average business. Well, you want to be above average. You want to excel in whatever it is you do. So again, when you think about benchmarks, it would be a good idea before you open a business to know the numbers, know the competition, know who's selling what it is you're selling within a 2-mile radius. Because if people have a choice, it'll be between you and the competition. Last example of a 10-year wealth plan, we bought our first rental property here in Columbia in 1982. And that property was $22,000 here in Columbia. But Section 8 paid us $375. And I think our payment was maybe $180. So if we were still making over $100 a month, somebody was going to work, paying our mortgage, paying our taxes, and paying our insurance, protecting our assets. And we didn't have to stand there at the front door and say good morning, or we didn't have to say, wake up, you got to pay rent. So these are just things that I want you to open your eyes to. Like I said, when I got into real estate, I didn't have a model. I didn't know what record I needed to break. When I broke the record, I surprised myself. And I looked at what average was doing, And that wasn't the definition I wanted. I wanted above average. So what somebody else may have done, thank you for the love, the hearts. Hey, Elder Grant, Joseph Grant. So find out what you're good at. And if you're looking for multiple streams of income, it's out there. But more than it being out there, it's in here. We are all unique. We all bring something to the universe differently. Even if it's the same thing, we present differently. And so that's what I had for you tonight. We're talking about how to create generational wealth. How to create generational wealth. And is money the problem, or are we the problem? Everything that I mentioned was not about how much, whether you had enough money to buy it. It was whether you bought into it in your mind, believing that you could do it, believing that it can be done, believing that it can be done and you're the person to do it. All right? So have a good night. Have a good life. And remember, I love referrals. If you or anybody you know, anybody that's looking to buy or sell real estate or need help getting their, getting the directions, getting from point A to point B, getting pre-qualified, working on the credit, then buying a home, then getting the key. We have the Key Club. And the Key Club, you want access to our Key Club. You won't be locked out. We'll lock you in to home ownership. And if you need, like I said, to buy real estate, move up, move down, buy your first home, any of that, buy your dream home. We're here. We get results. We are the results partners. So have a good night. Have a good life. In fact, have $1 million life. Freedom costs you something. Freedom ain't free until you are free. All right? And Vicky says, yes, believe. Thank you for the great information and the message. Gwen Map says, great session. All right? And share this. Share this. Share it with your friends. And even if your enemy needs a little help, share the message. Didn't cost you nothing, and it's going to cost them if they don't tap in. So people that don't get information, or people that get information and do nothing with it, are worse than people that don't have the information. And if you've been with me on Sunday's Best, it ain't too much you have to guess about. You just have to be about it. All right? Have a good night. Bye-bye.